Welcome back to Chief Studios. My name is Taylor Bell, and this is Around the NFL with Coop RedZone NFL Stop. We are stopping around the whole NFL this time. Good thing about preseason starting is we're not short of topics. Coop, how are you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing good. My Ravens played today. We're going
What
up
time?
against the Eagles. 7:30 my time, they said. So we take on the Eagles. We're undefeated in the preseason since 2015, of course.
Wait, what do you mean? Y'all haven't lost a preseason game since 2015?
Since 2015, September
Are you
2015 to be exact.
that that has to be the most shocking stat, honestly, I've heard in a long time. I think you texted me that the other day and I glanced at it, but I was doing something else and it didn't really like register in my mind until right now.
Yeah,
Damn, that's
man.
what, 8 years, 7 years?
8 years we've been preseason champions.
Wow. How does that
Yeah.
how does that even work out? I mean, I guess you got to have some luck involved, but my God, that's crazy.
I hope that's
So
not what's keeping Harbaugh a job.
it might be. Um, who are they? Is Lamar Jackson? What's his deal as far as play time? Is he going to get first quarter, first series? Do you know?
I don't know. I really don't want him to play him much in the preseason, man. Give him a drive.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. I know. Chiefs play Saints tomorrow, and Coach Andy Reid has said, I think he's going to play the first quarter, I believe, or for a series basically, and then get all the starters out of there after the first series. That's what it is. After the first series, then all the backups are in and get those guys on tape and see what they have. So I'm not sure what the Saints are doing or what the rest of the NFL is doing, but that seems to be now. The coach we mentioned last week, the coach of the LA Rams, Sean McVay, he notoriously started the trend of not playing anybody, no starters at all in the preseason. And even now, he stated that his starters are going to get at least a series in and start playing. So interesting to see how things play out, and hopefully no injuries occur. So let's get into some of these topics. We do have a number of topics to jump into. Now, I'm going to do a screen share here, and we will just jump right into it. Now, last week we did mention Alvin Kamara, and we did show some of the brawl that he was basically in trouble for. He got suspended for 3 games. Is that right?
Yeah.
3 games. Here we go. Alvin Kamara suspended the first 3 games of the 2023 regular season. Now, that's without pay, from what I understand. And he, I believe, is the second or third highest running back paid. So, I mean, that's a huge chunk of change. Now, he also had to pay, like we were saying last week, what was the number? Like $100,000 in to the guy he beat up, medical bills
Yeah,
plus
yeah, he had to pay
a
some medical
settlement.
bills and a settlement. So the guy made off with some change. Do you feel like the punishment handed down by the NFL was appropriate?
Um, no, I think it's too harsh. I mean, in my opinion, if I were the commissioner, I would basically, I think I would give him like one game suspension. I think 3 games is too harsh. I mean, he beat up. I understand. Again, I mentioned this last week. I know we're not supposed to do that, but it's not a good look. But 3 games is too much, man. Just sit him a week and get back to business. Like, I'm sure he learned his lesson, especially after you hit somebody in the pockets, especially for that much money. I don't care how much money you're making. That's a lot of money. He'll think twice next time. I mean,
Right.
what do you think?
I feel like the only reason it happened like the weekend of an NFL event, So they got arrested, like, because they moved the Pro Bowl from Hawaii to Vegas, I believe, last
Oh,
year. So it
yes.
happened during that event. He played in the game, and then he gets arrested, and it's our weekend to be out here. So have some decorum and get it together. But so maybe the 3 games, I would have gave him one probably, but
Yeah.
they had to do something, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's the suspensions with the league are just so up and down as far as punishment. I mean, you got, some players getting, like Kamara, 3-game suspension. Even Ray Rice, remember a couple years ago,
Yeah.
the incident with his wife or girlfriend, he got suspended a few games. And then everybody, the media just,
Once that
lambasted
tape
the
dropped,
NFL. Say that again?
once the tape dropped, it was like,
Yes,
yep, get him now.
Yep.
He
And
had
then
already served the suspension and everything.
exactly. So I don't know. It didn't say whether or not they're going to appeal it. I have no idea. It didn't say in the news, but I would appeal it, and maybe they settle on 2 games. I think that has to play with it too, because the NFL knows the Players Association appeals all this. So maybe they do it. Maybe they hand out the suspension knowing that they're going to settle somewhere in between. So I don't know. We will definitely keep you updated if it is appealed, or if there's any more news on if it gets lessened or whatever. We will definitely bring you that news. So we will keep an eye on the Alvin Kamara saga, so to speak. Now, speaking of, I did want to get this out of the way, and I think we forgot to mention it last week. It might have happened right around when we recorded, is the Henry Ruggs situation.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Everybody, I'm sure, is aware of what happened. Drunk driving, what was it, last season, in the middle of the season. And driving after, drinking at Top Golf, drunk, Corvette, 158 miles an hour. Unfortunately, struck and killed a young woman and her dog. Horrible, set of events. And it's making news because he got sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. Now, I guess this is not so much an NFL, it is an NFL topic, but as far as punishments is concerned, I mean, he killed somebody. I know it wasn't, intentional. Basically, it's manslaughter, I guess. But
yeah,
am I crazy? I mean, that seems very light, doesn't it?
it seems light, but I do know people in my personal life who had manslaughter drug accidents, and one of my friends, he did like 6 years. A manslaughter drug accident. One of my friends, he did like 8. So yeah.
Okay.
Man,
see, so maybe it is around average, right?
Yeah.
I guess, so to speak, as far as what the punishments are for that. I guess I'm comparing it to other punishments from other crimes from other people, and seeing how they're not adding up. But since you put it that way in your personal life or experience, I guess that's about average. I mean, again, he didn't intentionally try to hurt anybody, and that's the definition of manslaughter. So it's very unfortunate. I'm sure the young woman's family will get compensated, and I know that doesn't repay a human life, but there is a possibility that if he serves, now he won't get, he won't get credit for home. I think it was what do you call it when you're, what's that?
He was on house arrest, on ankle monitor.
House arrest. That's what I was looking for. He's not going to get credit for house arrest, but if he serves, let's say 3 to 4 years, the crazy thing that I was looking at, 3 years from now, he'll be 27 years old. That's right in the prime of your athletic, physical prime. Do you think he can make if he serves 3. Let's say 4. Let's say he just serves 4 years, so he'd be what, 28. Still very physically able to. Do you think he can make a comeback if he serves 3 to 4 years in jail or prison?
I do believe that it's possible for him to, if he stays in semi football shape, like just semi, then he gets out, goes on like XFL, and then make his way back to the NFL. I think he can make it back. But and then also, I know he's not in California, but most of that present time in California is halftime. So if they're saying 3 to 10, and he can do the minimum of 3, get in the program, he'll be out in no time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. And look, Michael Vick is a prime example. I think he served 2 years.
Plaxico Burress did.
Yep.
2 years also.
Yeah. So it is possible. Yeah, it's very, very possible. Now, the next question is, if he does stay in shape, if he does get released, and say in 3 to 4 years, what team is going to roll the dice? Now, obviously,
the one that he got cut from.
Yeah, probably that would be my first. That would be my first guess. I'm sure that'd be high on everybody's list.
Right.
You know, because they've been known obviously to do that with some ex-players, and I'm sure the contract. Because look, that this will come up if he gets released in 3 to 4 years. Who offers him a contract, a chance to play again, redeem himself? He'd pay his debt to society. I don't hold. Look, if you pay your debt, like with my whole Michael Vick thing,
yeah,
there's these crazy people out here that think like once you've committed a crime, you should be punished for the rest of your life. Yeah. I don't. If you've done your time and you're really a changed person, that's what America is. All about is second chances and prospering. And again, I would be a hypocrite. I've done, like I said last podcast, I've done a ton of dumb shit. So, it's all about learning and being a better person. So I'm sure the contract would be incentive laden in a bunch of clauses, but, we'll just have to revisit this in just a couple of years and see where he's at.
Right.
So... do we have? I don't think we have any more topics on injuries or punishments or suspensions. I think now getting into off-field stuff. Let's go back to your Ravens. Jadeveon Clowney, the number 1 pick from 7 years ago of the Houston Texans. Is he a free agent now? I know he spent 2 years in Cleveland. He is a free agent.
A free agent shopping around. His career never panned out to where they thought it was going to be. But he's still a solid player. He came in to visit with my Ravens. He'd be a great addition to our D-line. So, man, hopefully we can work something out with him and get him over. We got a little change.
Apparently, it says here, I got the screen share on, that the Ravens offered J.D. Clowney a contract following a recent visit. There's no details on what the numbers were or for how many years, but there is an offer on the table. I know he would make a good addition to a lot of teams. Now, he's not going to get the huge contract I'm sure he's looking for, but he could. I know a lot of Chiefs fans wanted to sign. I've heard some noise out there that since Chris Jones, their star defensive tackle, is in the middle of a holdout, that the Chiefs should just go sign Clowney. But I think they forget that the Chiefs don't have any money. I mean, they have the least amount of cap space out of any team in the NFL for this year. Exactly. So we'll have to see how much he has left. He'll definitely land on a team. Now, how much he's got left, I have no idea. I guess that's up for debate, but he would add. Now his biggest gripe or his biggest negative is his motor. As far as is he a hard worker? Because I was living in Houston when the Texans drafted him, and that was the number one thing everybody talked about is he only plays when he wants to. He never plays on every, like J.J. Watt. Remember how he had a high motor and would give it his all on every single play? Clowney's kind of the, phenomenal athlete, but maybe would take a play or two off. But if he's hungry for a new contract, if he's out to prove himself this year, I would add him. Shoot, I would sign him. I think that would do wonders for the Ravens, to be honest with you, because as you know, we went over their roster last week. They are stacked, and adding another talent like him would just, man,
put us where we need to be.
I'd say, yep.
I think another thing out of my Ravens camp, man, Odell Beckham, he had came out and tweeted. He was like, man, in the Super Bowl, if I didn't get injured, I would have had 15 catches, 200 yards, most likely been the MVP. And one of the corners for the Bengals comes out like woulda, coulda, shoulda, and all that, right? He like, it would have happened, but it didn't because you got injured. So Odell took shots back at him like, yeah, like the ring you would have had if y'all won.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man, I love that banter, that back and forth. Shooting shots. Odell seems like he's ready for the season. I'm fired up.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what their offense looks like with him. I cannot wait. I saw something on that. I saw a headline, but I didn't look into it. But I think I know what you're talking about. What receiver said that? Do you know? It was
a corner
Jeff?
that said it to him.
Oh, it was a cornerback?
Yeah.
There we go. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Tyler Boyd. Yeah, that's interesting. I did see this. I mean, like you said, he would have been the MVP because he went out before halftime, right?
Right.
And he already had 100-something yards.
Yeah, he was doing his thing, man.
Wow. Yeah, that was unfortunate, but I love to see when those guys kind of get in a back and forth, to a certain extent, just gets their juices flowing and out to prove you're wrong type of deal.
Makes it spicy for the season because unlike boxing, they're going to face each other at one point. If we're talking before the season, you're not on my regular schedule, but I might meet you in the playoffs. So when we get to the playoffs, line it up. We might meet at the Super Bowl. Who knows? But I love it.
Exactly. Now, speaking of we might need you in the Super Bowl, I came across this story, and I really had to stop for a second and see if this was real. So apparently, last year, the 49ers obviously had a phenomenal season. They were really on a roll. Now, they've been hindered with quarterback issues as far as injuries. Not play, but injuries. So a report came out literally just a few hours ago that the 49ers last year, if they made it to the Super Bowl, their plan was to get Phillip Rivers, who was retired, to come out of retirement and play in this Super Bowl, which I thought was a joke at first, but there's tons of reports on this story. What do you think about? Do you think a player that, because I think he retired last year, so he sat out all last year, so he would have been out of the league for 10 months or so, maybe a year. Do you think somebody could just step in and play in a Super Bowl? Not just step in a game, but the Super Bowl?
Honestly, the Niners offense was so potent that the quarterback didn't have to play great to win the game. You know what I'm saying? So they could have just plug and play them in there and got him to do exactly what they needed him to do. He could have probably stepped in. Our defense is going to win us these games. We need you to just get in there. and
Right.
control the tempo.
And Kyle Shanahan is such a good offensive mind. I'm sure he had this idea. Maybe he sent Phillip Rivers like a watered down playbook and said, hey, study this just in case, right? It's kind of a just in case we need you type of deals. I'm sure, Phillip Rivers probably would have been ready. I know they would have had a handful of plays. Probably would have been practicing like crazy with the team. I think it could work with an experienced quarterback like Phillip Rivers. Now, he doesn't have his fastball, but he's very, when you have 10, 12 years in the league, like Tom Brady towards the end, you've seen all the defenses, all the schemes. So mentally, I think he'd be ready. He just wouldn't be able to throw the ball that far down the field. But
yeah, I don't think they would have beat the Chiefs, but
no,
he would have did okay in the game.
yeah, I think they definitely would have made it work. And it's interesting too because the joint practices that are going on this offseason, a lot of teams, a lot of franchise look at these joint practices as more beneficial to their teams than even preseason games because they can do. It's not like they'll play when they practice with another team. They can not only run a game like clock and where they have refs there, but they can also run 10 snaps offense versus defense for the other team. Right. And not worry about downs, got to get it first. They'll run 10 offensive plays in a row and then they'll switch it. Then the other team will run 10 offensive plays in a row against the first team defense for the other team. So apparently Jimmy Garoppolo, who's now with Las Vegas Raiders, just sliced and diced the 49ers defense in joint practices, which I thought was interesting. But I don't know if Jimmy's got much left. Do you know a lot of Raiders fans out there where you're? Oh, of course I'm sure you do because you're in the Bay Area.
God. It's like hell on earth here. I'm surrounded by Niner fans and Raider fans. It's hell here. You go to one bar, it's nothing but Raiders. You go to one, it's nothing but Niners. It's ridiculous. Jimmy G, the Niner fans did not love him last year. So I'm pretty sure they're happy that they dumped him off on the Raiders, right? But then he goes out there and he slices up your defense in practice. I wonder how the Niners feel about that. Like, where was this at last year? Where was the deep ball at, Jimmy?
Right. And they have a good defense, the 49ers. Right. So apparently it was first team offense for the Raiders versus first team defense for the 49ers.
Listen, the Battle of the Bay is one of the most ridiculous things ever. And it's not even like the Niners and Raiders are playing each other this week, right? If the Raiders lose, all my Niner friends that come on Facebook, look at the trash Raiders. The Raiders are trash. Niners lose, the Raiders are cheering for the Niners to lose. Or the team that the Niners playing, the Raider fans are now fans of that team. Wow. I see Raiders fans cheer for the Patriots type stuff. Like, what are you guys doing? I'm not cheering for my enemy against my other enemy.
Now, how did you become a Ravens fan? Ravens fan living in the Bay Area.
I was in love with Ray Lewis, man. Not pause, I should say that. But when I seen Ray Lewis, man, they had won that Super Bowl in 2002. I was in middle school, going to high school, I believe. And I just became a fan of the heart and the spirit that he had. So I was there for Ray. But then I just started loving the team. Ed Reed, Slugs, all of them. I'm like, man, this is my team, because I never had a team before that, because I was the biggest Raider and Niner hater as a kid. So then I found my team with the Ravens in 2002 and just been sticking with them ever since.
Yeah, they've been a team. I wouldn't say been a fan, but I've always used to, when I was a kid too, with Ray Lewis. I played linebacker in high school, and I always used to look up to Zach Thomas and Ray Lewis. Those are my two of my favorite players. Now, with these preseason games getting underway, let me share the screen and let's go to some of these topics with the NFL in the preseason. Now, there's been a lot of talk. Jordan Love, there's now that Aaron Rodgers has moved on to the Jets, the Aaron Rodgers saga moves to another city. It's time for Jordan Love to step up. There's been a lot of talk as far as, is he good enough? And I
Right.
wanted to pay attention. Did you watch any of last night's games or I caught just a few minutes. Did you see anything of it?
I didn't catch any of the game last night.
Yeah. It's only
I'm
worth
happy Aaron
like,
Rodgers didn't do him like Brett Favre did him. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like Brett Favre was holding that job hostage while Aaron Rodgers was just sitting there like, man, give me the reins. I think Jordan Love's going to do good over there, though.
Yes. Yeah, I think it says he had a pretty good showing. He had a nice touchdown pass, had a nice drive. I think he did played a couple series. So we'll have to see how things play out, see if he can. I'm going to be paying attention to the Packers this season to see how he does. But good news, he had a good series, and we'll definitely keep an eye on that. The next game, another hot spot to keep an eye on in the NFL is Baker Mayfield, the former number one pick. Bouncing around, he's now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Colin Cowherd, who has a show on Fox Sports, famously said, he got a lot of heat for it, but his opinion was Baker Mayfield, if he doesn't get the starting position, should retire. Basically, because it's embarrassing, right? Because he talks so much shit, and he has his personality is, I'm the biggest, I'm the best. And you get humbled. I think he's been humbled since he's been bouncing around. But what do you think? Should he retire if he does not get the starting job for the Bucs?
TBS is backstage, but
Oh,
also if
okay.
he doesn't get that job with the Bucks, man, he should retire. Like, I'm gonna just keep it
You
so
think
real.
so?
Baker Mayfield had Juice Landry, OBJ in Cleveland, great running back Nick Chubbs, stunk it up there. Like, stunk it up to the point where
Yeah.
OBJ's father had to come out like, man, and released a montage of plays where Odell was wide open or beat the receivers on route and Baker couldn't make the throws. So then he finally gets traded, released. He goes to the Chargers. He has one good game where he brought him back down from nothing, and now it's Juice back in Baker Mayfield. Enough to get a deal with the Bucks, right? No, the Panthers.
Right.
Now
The
he goes to
Panthers.
the Panthers, stinks it up, gets another job with the Bucks. He gets another chance. If he doesn't become a starter there, it's time for him to go. He's getting too many chances. They give mediocre quarterbacks way too many chances to be mediocre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look, this is his second or third chance. He's a number one overall pick, and they're going to get an extra shot or two. But if he can't if he can't be the starter for this is his second or third team, it doesn't look good. I don't know how much money he's made, but I'm sure he's made a pretty penny. He was on. It used to annoy me, those stupid insurance commercials. It seemed like, was it last season? It seemed like he was on a commercial every freaking commercial break. So I'm sure he's made a decent amount of money. I think he should too. I mean, it's embarrassing. You talk all this shit, and then you're basically a backup on the third team you're on. So I do too. I agree. We're joined by Kyle Davis of the boxing section. How you doing today, sir?
Man, what's going on, fellas?
Man, chilling. We are good. We're just going down the NFL topics. I would like to welcome all of my Chiefs fans and NFL fans to the boxing section. As you know, Coop's got a good boxing content on his channel, and Kyle does as well. Actually, I was laughing. I obviously follow your channel, but you have a famous back and forth with Keith Thurman. You want to explain what did you say to him when you first went up to him?
You're on mute.
I think you're on mute.
I just told him, I said, when you gonna fight Boots? And he says, when it matters to me. I said, that's why we didn't get the Earl Spence fight, because it didn't matter to you. And so he's going back and forth, and then what really made him mad was I said, well, Boots will beat you though. He just went off.
Yeah.
He made him really upset.
I'm gonna link everybody. I'm gonna link the boxing section channel and the Coop's podcast about nothing as well in the description box. So after this is over, please go check out his channel. If you're a sports fan and or a boxing fan, you're gonna love his channel. He got tons of boxing content. He goes to almost every fight. So got behind the scenes access, got media passes and everything. So wonderful channel. We got into the 49ers. We just hit on a couple of topics. Now, there's a new report that came out that said, Kyle, what are your feelings on, let me add this to the stream. What are your feelings on Phillip Rivers, if y'all made the Super Bowl last year, being your quarterback for the Super Bowl? Do you think he would have anything left to to give y'all? That's crazy, right?
I mean,
that basically Shanahan's saying his backup plan, if they made the Super Bowl last year, is he was going to call Phillip Rivers, bring him out of retirement, and throw him in the Super Bowl.
Well, he should have just done that instead of waiting for all our quarterbacks to get hurt. He should have had already brought him in. But the news that I'm sad about, damn Phillip Rivers, man. Ray McLeod, man.
Yep.
He's out for 2 months. Dude.
Yep, I was going to hit on that with the injuries.
Yeah, that's some of the saddest shit right there, dude.
What was the injury? What was the specific injury?
So he broke his wrist.
Ah, man.
Listen, man, the Niners, I feel bad for them because they can't shake the injury bug.
No.
Like the last 3-4 seasons, man, have been plagued with injuries. I don't know what's causing it. I've seen LeVar Ball say a lot of these players don't lift weights anymore. They only do resistance training, and that's why their bodies aren't as strong as they used to be. So I don't know if that's it or what, but something got to shake, man. There's too many injuries in pro sports.
Yeah, I don't know. And if you can see here, it looks like Kittle is injured as well. I had no idea. He has a hip injury. Have you heard that, Kyle?
Yes, unfortunate.
Damn, man. They always, out of any team in the NFL.
Strain, though. It was just a strain.
It was a strain?
Yeah.
So he should be playing by week 1, right?
Yeah, he should be good.
And how long is McLeod out for?
See, he's questionable. So, you know what I mean? All the questionables, by the time the season starts, should be good. But when you got that out, is a whole different ballgame, you know?
Well, who's your quarterback?
Brock Purdy.
It's got to be Purdy.
Brock Purdy, man.
At least I would think so.
They said all our quarterbacks are doing good in the training camp right now. But yeah, Brock Purdy, man, he took us deep into the playoffs, man. You can't go against that.
Yeah, I think with the role that he was on at the end of last year, you got to see what he's got. I mean, I know you have Trey Lance there, which you invested heavily in. I know, look, you brought in Sam Darnold, but you got to see what you have with Purdy. I mean, just to see, was it a fluke or not? I think you owe it not only to him, but you owe it to the team to see what he has, right? And you can always, if he falls flat on his face this year, just throw Trey Lance in there. and see what you have. What are your opinions on the whole Trey Lance thing?
Well, we got him, so we could just keep.
You're right. And Sam Darnold, do you think that was just bringing another QB?
No, yeah, just backup quarterback. Just in case, because what we went through last year is like we got to be prepared for anything.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. How secure, maybe a dumb question, but how secure do you think Shanahan's job is? It seems pretty secure from the outside, but is he going to have to win a Super Bowl to secure his long-term future, staying with the team for years to come? Because I wonder how many times do you fall. Now, I know a lot of it's injuries, but still, does he have to win the big game to basically be the head coach for the foreseeable future? I mean, I'm not saying he should get fired or will get fired this year or next year, but what about 5 years from now? You know what I'm saying?
Listen, it's hard to find a great coach in the NFL. And when you got one, you just got to hold on to him. I mean, you got to think. Every year he's been there, somebody's gotten hurt. Every year, somebody's gotten hurt. Somebody really, really drastic, somebody that was really a part of the team, an intricate part of the team was hurt. So that's every year though. Every year, man.
Right. And how do you feel? Does it hurt that Jimmy Garoppolo sliced and diced the 49ers defense in joint practices?
No.
Did you like Jimmy?
I mean, I like Jimmy Garoppolo to a certain point of it.
Yeah.
He can get you to a certain level, but after that, But the thing is, he knows the team though. He knows, he's been playing the same team for 4 or 5 years. But it's practice. You can't tackle the quarterback in practice, so you know what I mean?
Jimmy's a bum.
Not a total bum.
He should have just been a model.
They probably would have won the Super Bowl versus the Chiefs if he hit that. Remember, he had that one incomplete pass late in the fourth quarter. Probably would have won the Super Bowl.
Dude, Emmanuel Sanders was so wide open, bro. Ridiculous.
Just overthrew him by 5-10 yards.
Hey, you know what? I gave Jimmy shit about not being a deep ball threat, but he didn't have deep ball receivers. So maybe this year he improves with Devontae Adams.
Yeah, that is true. Now look at this.
Find out, man. Football is upon us.
Trey Lance is going to start the preseason opener with Sam Darnold playing second half. So is Purdy, are they sitting him, or does he have an injury?
Purdy's the starter. He don't need no preseason. You know what he can do,
Got you. So they're just sitting him.
No. I thought the starter plays like the first rep and then the rest of the game.
No, the starters don't play until the second or third preseason game, dude.
Man.
Oh, I think the Chiefs are playing their first team, I think, for one series. And then they're getting him out of there.
Yesterday. Russell Westbrook started the game for the Broncos yesterday.
Russell Westbrook?
Wilson?
Yes. I mean, the boy, Sierra husband.
Yeah. Check this out.
You're not going to change Purdy.
You know what I think the 49ers are doing with Trey Lance? Who did?
The Bears playing right now. Which one call it started?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Quarterback.
He's coming off an injury, though, either.
Right. I think what the 49ers are doing with Trey Lance, now that he's starting, I think they might, with the hopes that Brock Purdy, is the starting future franchise quarterback, I think they might try and showcase Trey Lance, his skills, his play, boost him up and then trade him. That may be what they're doing.
I mean, I'm not totally upset with that, honestly, because Brock Purdy's such a good quarterback, but I do want to give Trey Lance another chance with the healthy team to see what he's going to do. Because he didn't get a chance to play with any of the guys. He didn't get to play with Kittle. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get to play with Deebo Samuel. So I mean, he didn't really get a great chance. You know what I mean?
Right. No, he didn't. He snapped his ankle the real first chance that he got.
First game.
He started to like do good in that game though. That's the crazy
part.
Part.
But y'all lost.
What are you talking about, bro?
Y'all lost against the Bears opening game.
Oh, what did y'all do though?
Huh?
How you can hear?
We had a good season last year.
Y'all season went better than ours.
We both didn't make the Super Bowl, so
you keep saying
yeah. We both didn't make the Super Bowl, so
check this out. Both of y'all play each other right here on Christmas Day. What a day that's going to be. Look at that. At 7:15 on Christmas Day, the Ravens versus the 49ers.
I think we play in
yeah, I don't want to go in that hostile territory with you guys.
You ain't going nowhere, no way, bro. You're a bum.
Like your Niners.
What do you think? What's their over-under? What do you have? Because we did an over-under on the Ravens last week, and they seriously, I think Vegas had them at, what was it, 10.5? Coop wins? And I think they can go over because they have an easy schedule. Now, looking at this schedule, here are the preseason games, but look, y'all got what? Steelers, Rams, Giants.
We're gonna win 10 to 11 games this year, easy.
So the hardest. Let's see.
The Steelers are sneaky because of their defense.
The Steelers, right?
They're doo-doo.
You should beat them. Should beat the Rams. Now the Giants is going to be a tough game, but it is in a home game for the 49ers.
Of course we're going to beat
Cardinals. You should win. Cowboys. That'll be a good game. So you got let's see. Browns should be a win. Vikings, that'll be a tough game. Should be a win.
Deshaun, man. Don't sleep on Deshaun Brown. Watch
what's his name? The quarterback for the Bengals. Is he hurt?
Joe Burrow?
Yeah, he has a calf strain. But I believe he should be ready for week 1. At least that's what they're saying. Currently, yes, he's injured, but I think he should be ready week 1. I don't think he's doing much in the preseason or in camp. Now, that'll be a tough game versus the Eagles. Let's see. Cardinals, you should win. Seahawks, that's a winnable game for sure.
That's a toss.
What, the Seahawks?
Yeah. That's a toss in the air.
Let's see. Commanders should be a win. Rams should be a win. I probably have them. Yeah, probably at. I mean, they have a loaded roster,
they're not going to
too.
sweep the seat. Yeah, you think you're going to sweep the Rams and the Cardinals? 2 games?
They'll probably, out of those 4, they'll probably lose 1, right?
Most likely we'll sweep. They made no changes. They made no good changes. They've gotten worse since last year.
What changes did you guys make? Oh, that's neither here nor there.
We just got another cornerback. We just signed another receiver. We got some pieces, bro. They got worse. We stayed the same. They got worse. They don't have. Listen, Jalen Ramsey is gone, bro. He's in Miami. Did you remember that? Did you forget that?
Yeah.
They got worse on defense.
Yeah.
They got worse.
The Rams, I can see y'all always beat the Rams during the season, but I don't see y'all sweeping both of them.
We just did it last year, and nobody got better. Everybody got worse.
We'll see.
Let's see. Check out their over/under now. 10.5, exactly the same thing as with the Ravens. You're betting the over, right, Kyle?
Yeah, I say we'll get about it. We'll do 11. We'll do 11.
Coop, what do you think?
I think they'll go over that.
Yeah, I got them going. Yeah, I have them doing probably 12.
I don't
Pull
see
the schedule.
Yeah, looking at their schedule, I don't see many clear losses. Like maybe some toss-up games where they can sneakily get beat, but I see them about 11-12.
Yeah, they have a few tough games here, and like you were saying last week, these divisional games, no matter how much the team sucks, the opposing team, it's still a tough game. No matter how good the opposition is. I see a few pretty tough matchups.
The game that I feel like they're supposed to win could be the toss-up, the one with the Jaguars, because Trevor Lawrence is on the rise. The one with the Steelers, like they're supposed to win these games, but
even the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because anything can happen in the football league.
Right. Yeah, and you never know who's injured, and of course we're just going off of paper. So
now the Cowboys, I think they're going to beat the living shit out of them. But
you think the Cowboys are going to beat the shit out of 49ers?
No, I think the Niners are going to beat the shit out of the Cowboys.
Yeah, they're going to exactly. They're going to Brian.
We lost nobody on defense. We lost nobody on defense, bro. We lost nobody on defense.
As I said, Dak's a bump. He's going to get. You see what happened to him last year in the playoffs. So
we did. We did lose. We lost one person, Al-Shire, on defense.
Yep. And with their new offense, the Cowboys are installing by Brian Schottenheimer. He wants to basically move Dak around. He wants him to be more fast, quote unquote, elusive. I guess kind of like the closest thing I could compare it to is maybe Russell Wilson back in, a few years ago when he was running around in the backfield for Seattle. I don't think that's a good strategy for the Cowboys. I think they're going to fall flat on their face. So I think that's a very winnable game with the 49ers. For the 49ers, I should say. Yeah, so over and under 10.5. I think I'm going to put them at 12. Everybody here has them over 10.5. I think it's basically a lock, assuming Purdy plays fairly decent. And, as long as they keep Trey Lance, if they don't trade him before then, if Purdy gets hurt, I'm sure they're going to experience some kind of injuries. It seems like they're one of the teams every year that gets bit by the injury bug. So as it sits now, definitely over 10.5. But again, like we said last week, that's what you're betting on really is health. But all these games look, for the most part, like they could be winnable games. So they're playing
Chargers. I'm worried about the Chargers.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Because of the quarterback or the defense or what?
Quarterback play, man, and they got some good receivers.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's in okay. Yeah. It should be interesting to see how the season plays out. We will definitely keep an eye on the 49ers and have you back on. Did you want to hit on this Darrell Jackson story before we leave, Coop, or you want to save that for next week?
Yeah, we can do that.
Real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
Now, I was unaware of this story as of this morning, but doing some research on it. Do you want to tell the audience basically what happened? And I'll share the tab.
So basically, Darrell Jackson was at another college, and he wanted to hit the transfer market, and go to Florida to be closer to home with his mom because his mom is sick. And it shouldn't have been no problems with him transferring because it wasn't like anything illegal going on or anything. But the NCAA denied it. So, he decided that he's going to step away from football to take care of his mom because, his mom is more important in the game.
Right. Now, we don't know if there's not much information. I tried to do some research on our end to see why it was denied. Basically, what was the reason? Now, the transfer portal has opened up crazy in the last year, allowing players, they're getting paid now, basically. I mean, basically. But transferring has gotten a lot easier for these players. However, the NCAA just flat out didn't give a reason, or at least I couldn't find one, on why he was denied being able to transfer. Now, Senator Marco Rubio has now gotten involved and is in contact with the NCAA, trying to assist the player in getting his transfer approved. Now, is he doing it for PR, right? Marco Rubio say, oh, look what I did? Probably, because all politicians are like that. However, regardless, whatever it's for, enabled to get this approved, you're going to need help from big name politicians. That always helps, regardless, right? Like, it's one of those cases where, like, if you're going to get pardoned by a president, it's like, oh no, I don't want to pardon because he's a Democratic president, or oh, it's Donald Trump, I don't want to be pardoned. It's like, what?
Oh, fuck that.
You better pardon I don't care who you are. Yes, I will take that. Thank you. So, some people love Marco Rubio, some people hate him, whatever. But hopefully he can help this young man get transferred, because, I mean, why not? Right? It's so dumb. Like, these rules that the NCAA have is so dumb. So we kept y'all up to date with the Kamara situation at the beginning of the show, and I'm going to dig into this more this week just to see where it goes, what happens. Look, the season starts. When does the college football season start? Do y'all know?
September.
I think in a week or two, right?
Yeah.
It starts like a week before NFL, and then they finish 3 weeks before the NFL. So
I think we're going to get some good work out of Colorado this year. Their first game is up against TCU. Deion Sanders, first game coaching. Big Division I school, fresh off the HBCUs. It's going to be great. And I think they're going to surprise TCU how good they are. I don't know if they're going to win, but I definitely think they're going to surprise them.
Yo, he just cleaned house. Like, he has, I heard, over 70 brand new players.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, we'll have to see. Are you a supporter of his? Do you watch Colorado, or are you just watching him because of Deion?
Man, you know what? I'm in the Pac-12. I'm a Cal Bears fan, but we're trash. I support Deion, so I'm a root for Colorado, man. I want to see him win at the highest level. That'd be great.
Yeah, I will be. I'll definitely be watching to see how he does. I don't watch a lot of college football. If it's on, I'll watch it, or I'll put it on my phone while I'm doing something. But
I'm a Michigan fan, but I'm rooting for I'm like a LeBron. I'm like how LeBron fans are, man. I'm following Deion wherever he goes.
Michigan, they should have a good year this year.
Let's hope so. We need a better quarterback. That's the problem.
Yeah, of course, they've been beating Ohio State, pretty whipping their ass the last few years. So as long as they win that game, their season seems to go pretty good. What about DeMar Hamlin? Right? Who got fired?
Did Jim get fired?
Oh, he got
Harbaugh?
No. Yeah, he got suspended for, what is it, 4 games, Kyle? I think it was 4 games, or 4 weeks. So he can basically be at their facilities. He can be at the practices. He can coach the team during the week. It's just he can't be there on Saturdays. So now he didn't. I think what happened is he basically, the NCAA questioned him, I don't know, about some kind of recruiting issue, and he lied to them, which, whatever. It's just normal procedure, I'm sure, by these college coaches. I don't like the NCAA. You know, they're in all their rules, they're very hypocritical. So, I mean, maybe he didn't lie, but he didn't tell them something.
Two things I wanted to touch on, and then we can go tomorrow to Hamlin real fast. But with the Henry Ruggs thing, O.J. Simpson came out like, why did he only get 3 to 10 years for killing someone, and I got what I got for taking my property back from someone who stole from me? I think O.J. needs to shut the fuck up sometimes. I don't know if we're sorry for cussing, but I think O.J. needs to be quiet at times because he's often ridiculous. You're on mute.
He does have a point though, Coop.
Yeah.
They tried to give him 30 years, bro, for that. And they gave Henry Ruggs 3 years for killing somebody and their dog. Yeah, you know America loves dogs. Yeah. So.
And then also Johnny Manziel just released a documentary about all the money he was getting, and they lied about him coming from oil and all that stuff. He was receiving money from investors, right? And he still has his Heisman trophy. But Reginald Bush got his Heisman stripped from him, scrubbed from the NCAA records. He can't get no action. But Johnny Manziel gets to keep his Heisman and his accolades.
It's messed up. Have you seen that, or have you watched any of it, of his like documentary?
Nah, I'm not really.
Where is it? What is it on?
I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I've just seen clips. I haven't watched. I've watched maybe just a few minutes, but he did say that when he was in Cleveland, he didn't watch any film whatsoever. That's hard to believe. I mean,
why they didn't Jamarcus Russell him? Remember how the Ravens did Jamarcus Russell? They say we sent him home with some tapes that wasn't even football, and he lied and told us that he watched it. Now they said Johnny Manziel had 0 hours on his iPad for the plays and stuff that he was supposed to be looking over. 0 hours spent watching it.
Oh, they track it. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they was tracking it, and they didn't ridicule him like they did Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very fair point. I mean, he deserves probably more backlash or negative news or press, whatever you want to call it.
He got the potential for the collection, though. I
guess so. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Now, Jamarcus Russell was before social media too, but I mean, I don't know how much that makes a difference. But
I just think it depends on what team you go to, man. That's what it depends on. Because people give you a lot more love when you go to different teams.
Yeah. Now, here's the question before we get out of here. If DeMar Hamlin sucks, and are the Bills gonna keep him on just because it's a good story, or would they cut him?
I mean, he's good though.
You mean, huh?
He's really good. That's how he ended up falling down on the field.
Yeah, but he was there, I believe, because of injury, because of the person in front of him was injured. Yeah, I don't think he was I mean, I may be wrong. I don't watch a lot of Bills, but from what I understood, he was in the game because of because of a player in front of him was injured, so he got boosted into that defensive back or safety position.
He was playing.
Well, let's say
I don't know.
Yeah, he was playing good up until then, but let's say he's not playing good this year. Let's say he's borderline. Would they keep him just because it's a good, heartwarming story?
Nice.
Right? Because of what happened last year?
About that. The NFL is one place I don't give a damn about your story.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I think they would cut his ass if he wasn't good. Screw the story.
They can't cut him.
You don't think so?
They can't cut him right now.
If he ain't no good, if he ain't good.
Cal, maybe 2 years. He was a role player for one. He stepped up because somebody was injured. He was on like a minimum contract, so he was just like a role player quarterback. Let's be honest. They can't cut him right now because he damn near died on the field. Like
he did die for like 15 seconds.
Just imagine the headlines.
Listen up.
Bill cut DeMar Hamlin after he almost dies on the field. They just gave him an award at the ESPYs for having courage and coming back. They can't. You can't cut him.
They gave him Jab of the Year.
Right.
Hey, did y'all see how much money got donated to his fund or whatever? It was like $9 million.
Yeah, millions. That was more than he ever made in the NFL.
I know.
That's more than what a lot of people made in the NFL.
The minimum guys don't get that much.
No.
He's on the minimum.
Yeah, he's
playing well though this year though.
Well, he's expected. I think that he's expected to play. I think they have a game tomorrow, so I don't know. We'll see how he does. I mean, I'll keep an eye on him, and we'll kind of, I think every week go back to
like
how his play is.
Playing like the dime coverage, where you got extra DBs on the field, maybe return teams and stuff like that. But I didn't see him on the field much before that. I mean, I wasn't.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd never heard of the guy before he dropped dead on the field. So, yeah, I don't know. We will definitely keep an eye. I want to see how this kind of plays out and see if his play drops off. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a big question mark for a lot of people have. So, we'll definitely keep an eye on it. But I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Kyle, I do appreciate you joining us. If you want to jump on next week, we'll get you on as well. I appreciate you joining us very much. Please, everybody, hit the link in the description box, the boxing section TBS. Great channel to go view. And also, Coop, appreciate your time. We will have you on next week, as always, and come up with some cool topics to discuss. And I'll also link for the viewers at home the Podcast About Nothing show in the description box, and also the show sponsors and all that good stuff. So for Kyle, for Coop, I do appreciate it, guys. You got any last things?
Niners are going to the playoffs again.
Like I keep saying at the end of the show, meet us at the bank. It's going down.
On Christmas Day, we'll have to put a bet or do something before the Christmas game show and have something funny going down or something fun going down. So we'll definitely join this matchup a little later this season. So, all right. Appreciate it, guys. We will see y'all next one. Chief Studios, we're out.